Hello everyone, I'm Ashley and this is episode 12 of Ashlees Knitting. You can connect with me by that name on Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube. I'd love to hear from you. It is December 7th as I'm recording this, and you may notice it's coming out a day late. I used to record Tuesdays and post Wednesdays, but I've recently learned that I have monthly Tuesday meetings that go through lunch, and I record during lunch. So I'm going to start recording on Wednesdays and posting on Thursdays, and hopefully I can keep up with that. But December 7th, it's getting close to Christmas. The days are shorter, which really sucks the life out of me. But today, as you can see by this blown out yarn, that we actually have some sunlight. So I'm going to sit here and soak it up while I record. Also, just a lot of Christmas knitting. Honestly, a lot of knitting projects going on, more than I usually have. So with that, I guess we'll get right into it. We'll start with finished objects, and I will cut to a scene because my first finished object was already gifted, so we'll go to that now. Hi everyone, this is Ashley from the past, and today I wanted to show you a finished object before I gifted it today. So if you recall, I made a scarf for a friend's girlfriend, and this hat is going to be for the friend. So here it is, just finished blocking. It's completely dry now. This is the Crazy No 2 Hour Lake from Stonehenge Fiber Mill in Michigan. And you can see it started with this orange-blue color, moved to different shades with the blue, and then dark blue, light blue, and then the black and the dark blue. So when I was knitting this, my goal was for this section and this section to be equal, which they pretty much are the way I did it. And I had a little bit of yarn left over, but I stopped because I wanted them to be equal so that when you fold it in half, these colors would act as sort of like a brim accent, if that makes any sense. So I did have a little bit of yarn left over, and I kind of regret not using it because it is a little on the tighter side. I tried it on before blocking it, and it just barely touched the top of my ears, but I did just finish aggressively blocking it, and I haven't tried it on yet, so we'll do that together. So let me flip one end into the other, get it all lined up. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's completely covering my ear. I think it is more of a, what's the word? It's not like a slouchy beanie, but it is a fitted beanie, but it does fit, and I do really like it. So that would be the neutral colored option. And then, I don't know if he'll ever wear it this way, but if he wanted to, he could be a little more crazy and wear it with these colors on the outside. And that is the Musselburgh by Ysolda Teague. Let me think. I did this one out of sport weight, but the pattern is basically any gauge. So this one's out of sport weight. I used US 5 needles, and I really liked the way it turned out. It went by really fast. Obviously, I got it done in like less than a week, and that's why I can't show you on the normal podcast, but I'm happy I got to show it to you here. So that is a Musselburgh by Ysolda Teague and an early gift knit. So back to present day Ashley. Bye. Okay, hopefully that worked. My next finished object is a pair of socks. As I've previously said, all of my family members are getting a pair of socks for Christmas, and I just finished the last ones. If you're interested in seeing an overview of all of them, let me know, and maybe before I wrap them, I can show them off to all of you. But the last socks in the saga were the Rustling Seed socks. These ones are for my mom. So this yarn is Fuzzy Whatnots. It is a one-of-a-kind colorway, and I actually got it in a swap. I can't remember who with off the top of my head, but it was a swap. It's a one-of-a-kind, And honestly, when I saw it in the skein, I kind of thought it was going to be a self-striping, which is part of the reason I chose this pattern. The pattern is for self-striping, but then the designer also makes notes for if you're using non-self-striping yarn. But even if it's not what I expected, it's still lovely. I'll try to show you if I take it off the blocker down the front. Those diagonal stitches, they're so pretty and relatively simple to do, adding a little flare to a vanilla sock. And then on these I just did a contrast, a black heritage yarn, just something I had left over of for the heel and toe. And those are completely done, ends weaved in, blocked, completely ready to go. And those are the Rustling Seed Socks by what's her name here? Wow, you'd think I'd sort this a little better. Lisa Wicks, and I will have the pattern and her Instagram linked below. Same thing for all my other projects. I'm really glad to have those done. I'm really excited to have them all open them on Christmas morning. I'm gonna ask them to try them on and give me feedback because I think I'm gonna try to do this every year. I love making socks. I think I maybe made almost 20 pairs this year would be my guess, and I think making 20 pairs a year for myself would be excessive. I'd have a lot of socks very soon, so this way I can give away at least 6 socks every year. And I think they're a great gift. I love a good homemade gift. So those socks and the Musselburgh that you saw from past me are my 2 finished objects for this episode. And now we will move on to whips. Only one of my whips you've seen before, and you probably know which one because you've seen it so many times, but we'll start with that. It's in my Hanks Yarn & Co. sweater bucket. I'll open it up here. This is my Woolen Honey by Andrea Mowry. Do I have a tag over here, or do I maybe have a yarn tag in the bag? I do. So the yarn I'm using is from Hobby Lobby. It is the Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed in the colorway Chestnut Ember, and this yarn is a 100% superwash merino wool fingering weight. And here's an untouched skein. Not that it's pretty, but this one's untouched. I've been alternating skeins. I've been using, there was one that was a lot brighter than the others, so I've been doing 2 stripes of the normal color, the 3 that match, and then 1 of the brighter one, so alternating 2 1 2 1 2 1 all the way through. And excuse the dog hair because I'm not going to take it off until I'm finished because it would just be taking it off over and over and over again. But this is my Woolen Honey. I got to split for the sleeves this week and I still got 2.5 inches done after that, so pretty good progress. You can see here I changed out my progress keeper for a little Rudolph, so that marks where I've gotten from the past 2 weeks, and I'll move that down. I might be able to get this done by New Year's just because my new job, we do have quite a bit of time off, so I'm hoping to get a lot of time to work on this, but we will see. It is taking a long time. Sitting down and watching a show, like 50-minute show, Grey's Anatomy or Lucifer on Netflix are my go-tos. I'll get like 5 rows done, and the knit rows go like twice as fast as the purl rows. But it's slow progress, but it is good progress, and I am honestly, I say I'm sick of it, but I still love it. I'm sick of working on it, but I love the product, and I'm really excited to wear it. And I'm even more excited to, not more excited, but I'm also excited to start a new sweater because I love socks, but I also really, really love garments. So that is the Woolen Honey by Andrea Mowry. Making slow progress, but slow progress is better than no progress. My next whip, let's do this one, is a sock. This is in, I don't think you guys have seen this bag before. These are my Christmas llamas. These are from 3 Dogs and a Cat on Etsy. Also will be linked. She doesn't necessarily make project bags as much as she just makes bags, you know? So she has a lot of different things. And for these, I have one sock finished. I'll show you the yarn first. So this is the, here, I'll get out these two because they came as a set. In the spring, early this year, I went to Hot Springs, Arkansas for a little outdoorsy vacation, and I stopped by Arkansas Yarn Co. and these are one of the yarns I picked up. This is the Grinchmas version 4. I think she does a Grinch colorway every year, which is awesome. It's my favorite Christmas movie. But this is version 4 from last year, and it came as a set, and I got a 50-gram sock set, which in terms of fingering weight works really well for me. So 50 grams, 20 grams, and then I added, just to like pop the red that's in there, if you can see it, there's little specks of red. I added a little bit of Heritage Red, which you will see. So I finished one sock here. This is my first toe up sock. I chose to do toe up so that I could knit until I ran out. I didn't want to worry about yarn management, yarn chicken. I didn't want to worry about any of that, especially with a 50-gram skein. So I did toe up, started with the, it's not like a deep black, it's kind of like a gray, like a dark gray, but the dark gray toe, pop of the red, and then I went up, did my 62 stitches for my foot. That's what I do. I did the shadow wrap heel again because I loved it so much. The pooling, I'm not sure how I feel yet. You see how this is all consistent, and then you get the heel with the more stripier appearance, which I know is unavoidable, but I don't know how I feel about it. I'll say I'm okay with it. And then I just knit up the leg until I ran out of that Grinch colorway, added another pop of the red, and then I think I did a 12-row 2x2 ribbing cuff, and I did a basic stretchy bind off. I didn't really use a pattern for this. I mean, of course I used the shadow wrap heel, but in terms of toe up, I just referenced Knitty Natty's toe up tutorial on YouTube. So I use that for the cast on, how to do my increases, and then the bind off. It looks a little wonky now, but I think that will fix with blocking. So for those, I haven't started the second sock yet. I will soon, but I kind of got caught up with other socks that I'll show you. But I do want to finish them somewhat soon because these I'm using to participate in the Sockmas Make-Along by Knitty Natty, and also the Mr. Grinch Mal 2021 by, oh gosh, I'm gonna say this wrong, Natarina? I'm gonna butcher that. I'm awful with names. I'm so sorry, but it's a Mr. Grinch Mal, and like I said, it's my favorite movie, so I had to participate when I saw it, and I'll have her linked below since I can't pronounce anything. But the first sock is done. Second sock will be casted on soon. Definitely done by Christmas, I think. So that's that. So my next two whips are spoilers, kind of. So the first one is the Mystery Gnome. So if you're behind on that, maybe skip the next few minutes. And then also I have the Cozy Knitter Sock Advent, which instead of doing 2 at a time day by day, I'm just doing one and knitting on it as I feel like, mostly because it's my secondary sock to the Grinch socks. They aren't my priority project right now. So that being said, if you somehow wound up the whole Cozy Knitter skein without a spoiler, now is the time to look away because I have knit ahead. So if you're familiar, the Cozy Knitter Advent skein is a 24 stripe skein, I believe, and she sends them in 2 matching 50-gram skeins. And like I just said with the Grinch set, 50 grams is enough for a lot of people, especially if you have a contrast color. So I actually didn't order this, but Kelly of Ritz Fibers was kind enough to share her second skein with me. I'm so thankful for that because I've been looking at this. It is pretty expensive. I think it's maybe 40 some dollars, which it rightfully is. It is so much work making all of these different colors and just making self-striping yarn in general. But I decided to pass this year because when they come out earlier in the year. They're a really hot item. They're gonna sell out fast. But when they came out, I was in college, so no spare money to go around. But I was gifted them and I'm so grateful. So I'll show you, again, if you haven't seen the skein, if you haven't looked at it, stop watching. But here it is wound up. You can see all the different colors. I'm not the best at winding, I'll be honest with you, so I always have barf at the bottom and always have the strings going over the main part at the top. But you can see all the different colors, and I think, here, let me show you. I'll get back to that. And then I got a basic white contrast color from my LYS, and I'm gonna do that on the toes and the heels, and that is from This Craft That. I've never heard of them. I mean, I like the yarn so far. It's just what my LYS had in terms of a white mini, and that is a 85-15 blend. So that's that. And I'll show you the sock now. So here's where I am. I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stripes done, and like I said, it's December 17th. I'm knitting ahead. Most people do these 2 at a time. But I've gotten to the point where I'm ready to put my heel in, and then the heel will be in the white, and then I'll just knit until my remaining yarn is 25 grams. Well, I won't knit. I'll kind of leave 2 stripes for ribbing. Yeah, I think 2 stripes will be good for ribbing. So once I get close, like maybe 30 grams, I'll pull out the yarn and see where my stripes are, and I'll save 2 stripes for that. But I think that each 50-gram skein has 2 repeats. So I think even with the 50 grams, I'll be able to make matching socks. But even if it doesn't turn out that way, I'm not hurt. I'll love them anyway. I think they'll be beautiful. So there's those, and then Kelly is using the other 50-gram skein to make her socks. These may or may not be finished by Christmas, but I do suspect they'll be done by New Year's. And honestly, I don't know if I'll get it myself next year or pair up with Kelly again and we'll split the cost, something, but I really like it. I want to do it again next year, and this is my bag, a gift from Kelly. And I think I mentioned in a previous episode that I've only used drawstring bags prior to this, and that was because I was always afraid of getting my yarn caught, and I did. I got my yarn caught in the zipper, but after a good 5 minutes of freaking out and then 1 minute of actually fixing it, it was fine. I think I just need to be more cognizant of like pushing my project down before I zip it. But I'll probably keep buying drawstrings, but it's still a great bag, and I love the handle in the little wintry print. Okay, so next is my mystery gnome, so if you're not caught up on that, I'm sorry, maybe skip ahead even more. This is my first year doing this as well. I say that like I've been knitting for a long time. I haven't. This Christmas will be 3 years, but it's my first time. And I'll start by showing you my yarn. I know for the mystery gnomes, there were a lot of kits available, but I decided to use scraps because I have plenty of scraps, especially in fingering weight since I do so many socks. So first, it's a mess. First is that Black Heritage yarn that was in those socks. It's been in other socks. It'll probably be in more socks. So black. And then this is left over from Amandy's making share pair that I actually got to do along with her, and I have a sock out of these, but I had a good bit left over. So that's the next color. 4 colors total, so the third, if you're following along with the pattern, these aren't actually the order I'm using them. I think this is color 1. This is color 4. color 3, I think, if you're following along with the pattern as well. But this is left over from my, oh my goodness, what's it called? Why can't I think of it? It's my shirt with the lace at the bottom, and then it's just like a t-shirt. I really love it. But this is First Light from Madison and State Fiber Co., which I also got to use in scrappy socks, so that's going a long way. Fingering weight is the gift that keeps giving. And then my color 2 is this variegated blue. This is left over from my eyelet bralette, and this is from Ginchius Studios. So when I put them all together, they kind of felt, I didn't want it to be overly Christmas, that, and I might do that next year because I have a good green scrap and some like white scraps, but I didn't have the full scraps to go like full on Christmas. So I decided to go with these and make like a winter gnome, and I really like it. I do fear, now that I'm knitting it up, there's a lot of black, more black in it than I thought there would be, and I joke with my boyfriend that it's gonna end up being a emo gnome, but we'll see. I'll go in order of the clues here so that you can kind of live through it as I have, and I'll tell you what I think they are or what I thought they were. So we started with 2 I-cords in the black color, and my guess was that these were arms, and then we created the beard and the little nose, and I knew this would be like the neutral color, so I went with the white, and I think it looks really good for the beard. And then the 3rd and 4th clue, this was a 2-parter, is this little like rectangle cube thing. If you look, the bottom is a rectangle, it's like a little basket, and I got to try out a new braid technique that I've never done, which is really fun, and she has really good tutorials for all of these things. I thought, when we started it, I thought it was a hat, but then we did the bottom and I was like, is it like a bag? And then I started thinking maybe these aren't arms, but instead little handles. But who knows? It's my first mystery knit along, keeps me guessing. And then the most recent clue is this. My guess is that this is the hat. It's not finished yet. She had us leave it on the needles, but maybe a hat. We will see, and I will show you. But this has been really fun. It's really, it's not a lot of knitting, so you can maintain it, especially as we get closer to Christmas and things get crazier. It's a very maintainable project. You don't even get clues every day. Some days you'll get a recipe or a little story, and it's a little break where I can work on my other projects, which is great because work has been a little crazier than usual, so I've been working after hours to talk to people in different time zones. And I thought it was fun because I got these DPNs at a thrift store, size 1. They were 39 cents when someone first bought them, but I bought them for $1. Inflation. But still a deal considering what you could have gotten from Joann's or yarn store. And it's the first time I was able to use them, partially because I don't really like DPNs, but they do have their time and place. So if you were skipping spoilers, you can stop now. Maybe I'll put timestamps in the I'll put timestamps in the description in case you're curious. I should have said that in the beginning, but they will be there. And that is all of my works in progress. I'll now move to a past project, and we pulled everything out for decorating. Instead of getting a Christmas tree, we actually decorate a houseplant, and I'll put a picture of that in here for fun, but we were pulling out all of our Christmas decorations. And last year I made stockings. I made stockings for everyone last year, just like I did socks this year. So I made 9 in total. 1 is for me, my boyfriend, and our dog. Now we have a cat, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna make another or not. I'll have to see if I have more yarn left over. And then I had 1 for my mom, my sister, my sister's girlfriend. So that was another bunch of 3. And then my dad, his fiance, and my half-sister, their child. another group of 3. So 9 stockings in total, and I did gift theirs obviously, but I'll put in pictures here of their sets and I'll show you ours. So we have one stocking here, oh, something on the back, one stocking here, and then another one. And honestly, me and my boyfriend have the same initials, and I don't remember whose is whose. I don't remember who I intended what, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. And then I made a littler one for our dog with the little paw print on it. So maybe our dog will share it with our cat, maybe I'll make another one. We will see. But all of these were made out of Red Heart Super Saver yarn. I got it on Poshmark super cheap for a D-stash, and you know, no one's wearing them, so they don't have to be soft, so they're just acrylic. And the pattern is, let me see here, Jumbo Christmas Stockings in a Jiffy. And I actually knit these before I knit socks ever, so it was a good practice for the heel flap, heel turn, gusset, toe. It was a good practice for all of that. And then the pattern is just plain. I did add, for our set, I charted the initials on my computer and added them there. But for my family set, as you saw, they're either striped or variegated, so I didn't put their initials on them because they were already fun enough. But yeah, I really love them. I can't wait to go see my family and see theirs hanging up. I'm obsessed with them. I was really happy to pull them out and put them back up. So there's those Christmas stockings. I think maybe in a few years I'll upgrade them. Since those were my first socks, they're pretty basic. Maybe in a few years I'll update and do some really fancy color work ones. Maybe. At least maybe for myself and my boyfriend. Maybe not the whole family, because that is a lot. So, okay. And for the maker I love, I wanted to highlight the designer of all of the mystery gnomes, and she has other projects too. You can do all of the past gnomes, there's the current gnome of course, but then she also has hat patterns, sweater patterns, scarf patterns, endless options, amazing patterns. And that is Sarah from Imagined Landscape, and honestly, I've already said it, I love this gnome knit along. It's the perfect amount. It's fun, I get to try new techniques, and it keeps me guessing on what it actually is, and it's amazing at using scraps. I will have to buy polyfill for that. Yeah, I'll have to go out and buy some because I don't think I have any. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight Sarah because this is so much fun in addition to, you know, Advents. Speaking of Advents, I'll talk about my acquisitions now. I do have a few Advents. I have a 25-day stitch marker Advent and a 12-day yarn Advent. And then along with that, I have a Harry Potter sock Advent. It's 15 days, but I'm not going to show those here because I'm actually working on a little vlog every morning. I've been opening my Advent and recording. For the first few days, it's kind of quick because it's just the stitch markers, but soon it'll start with the socks and the yarn. So that will come out probably a few days after Christmas because I'll finish opening them on Christmas, spend some time with family, get it edited, and then get that out for you. So I won't show you Advents here, but there will be a separate video for that. And then, in terms of more acquisitions, I didn't buy anything, but I did get a lot of gifts. As you saw, I got that self-striping cozy knitter skein from Kelly Everett's Fiber. And then, if you've been on Instagram, I forgot the exact name of it, but there was this thing where you put your wish in the comments, and the goal is for you to grant someone else's wish, preferably from Stash if you can, and then someone will grant your wish. So I sent someone one of my sock blanks. I have one left. I had two. I sent her one of them, and honestly, I really want to knit mine up. I still haven't done it, but I really want to. So I sent someone a sock blank as their wish, and then Savannah reached out to me to grant my wish, which was self-striping yarn. And I'll show you that now. Look how beautiful. All the cool colors. And this is Night Owl Fibers hand-dyed yarn. Never heard of them before, but it is beautiful, and I looked up her website and she has so many more colorways. This is a 75-25 blend, and the colorway name is Caspian. So there's that information. And I love it so much. Thank you so much, Savannah. I mean, I reached out to her already, she knows, but I really love it. And I hope that my recipient loves their sock blank as well. And then someone else reached out to me, Ashley. She's also local to me, same name. We live very close to each other, same hobbies. It's very cool. She reached out to me and asked me if I wanted more self-striping yarn. I told her the wish was granted, but she had extras, so she offered, and I gladly accept. And I actually met with her this morning, and from her I got this self-striping skein. It's kind of similar in the gray base, but very different in the pops of color. This one's much more neon, which is super cool. We actually have an 80s fest here in Michigan. I'm sure every state has it, but this just reminds me of that. And I don't know if these ones are gonna be me or my mom, because my mom loves 80s fest. So these could be, depending on my timeline, either Christmas or birthday socks for her, or maybe they'll end up being for me. I don't know yet. But these are from String Theory Colorworks, also new to me. It is in 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon, so really nice. And honestly, I'm not going to be able to read that colorway name, like pronounce it, so I'll just show you. And then it has a really cool layout of what the stripe pattern will be, so you know what to expect. And that's so cool. So thank you, Ashley, for that. And the knitting community is just so nice. If someone has something you want, like me, I'll gladly share it with you. Or some people were asking for project bags, and people would either give them old ones they had in stash, or some bag makers would grant those wishes with new bags. There were notions requests for certain yarns. It was just super cool, and especially because we have such big stashes that sometimes they sit around for a while. So you may grow out of something that someone else may really appreciate. So that was an awesome opportunity. And then kind of an announcement, kind of an acquisition. Sorry for the crinkling here. If you recall, I went on a knitting retreat, and while I was there, I told all the ladies that I really love sock knitting, and a few of them mentioned that they had subscribed to a sock pattern, like a designer, and they would get, I believe, a monthly sock pattern, and that they just weren't keeping up with them. And they asked if I would like them, and I was like, yeah, of course. I did not realize that I would be getting 30-40 patterns. And I'm so grateful, but that's so much that I won't even get through them. So my idea was to do a giveaway. So right now I'm sitting at 400 something subscribers. So I was thinking once I hit 500, we could do a giveaway. I'll give you 10 patterns, something, quite a few patterns, and then some sock yarn and maybe some extra goodies to go with that. So once I hit 500, I'll announce that again, and I think I'll also do the same thing, another 10 patterns, another skein of sock yarn and goodies on Instagram when that time comes. So hopefully we can get there by the new year, who knows, but when that does happen, I will have patterns and sock yarn ready to share with you. Other than that, I think that's all I have to share. The cat is behaving a lot better. Earl is getting a lot better, getting along with our dog. Things are great. Thanksgiving went well. I hope yours did too, if you celebrate. And then now we're just getting through the cold until we can celebrate Christmas. It's coming up quick. If you're celebrating anything else, I hope you enjoy. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, I hope you've been enjoying and all those good stuff. But as with my time off here, I hope I'll get a lot of knitting done, but I do think I'll have one more podcast before the end of the year. So I'll see you then. Happy knitting.